Speaking of culture, Coach Ty-rianni has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, first and foremost, just want to say unbelievable victory last night. Let these people keep doubting them. Let these people keep doubting us, okay? And listen, I'm going to say this so that you don't have to say it because, listen, I understand the forward-facing side of you. You got to be a professional. You got to do all of that. It's bullshit, okay? Every single morning I come in the facility, I turn the TV on. What do I see? Hey, the Eagles stink. Their head coach is a big dumb dipshit. He leaves all these points on the board. Hey, the Eagles, they may be 8-2, but are they going to win a playoff game? Coach is going to end up fucking ruining something. Dan Orlovsky, God bless his soul, he says he's a Philly guy. He says, hey, I don't trust the Eagles in the playoffs because Nick Sirianni is going to cost him a game. Now listen, Coach, our record as head coach, 42-19, second best winning percentage of any active head coach in the NFL. Quickest to that many wins in 60 games in Eagles history. Now, I don't want to take another shot at Dan Orlovsky, but you know what his record was in the NFL, Coach? It was 3-23. So
what was it? What was it, Coach Terry?
What?
It was 3-23. So you got a guy like that throwing stones from a glass house. I mean, his win percentage is not even anywhere close to the Mason-Dixon line. But listen, there's also a couple other stats that I would like to make you aware of, Coach. Because people seem to have so many problems with an 8-2 football team, and a team that's leading one of the toughest divisions in football. Over the last 30 years, only 5 coaches have started 8-2 in 3 consecutive years. Okay, you got Sean Payton, Bill Belichick, Tony Dungy, Mike Shanahan, and guess who the 5th one is?
Who?
Me, Coach Sirianni. Okay, you got 4 Hall of Famers, and I don't know. I guess that just makes me fucking chop liver every morning on ESPN. You win week in, week out, week in, week out, week in, week out. Hey, the Eagles didn't score 50 fucking points this week, so their coach must be a moron. Let's fire the guy. Now listen, I get it. Okay, I understand. It's what have you done for me lately? That's the NFL. That's Philadelphia. We like talking shit, okay? We like talking shit to fans. We like talking shit to the TV. We like talking shit to everybody. I get that. And you can do that when you win, which is what we do. But I'm just curious, Coach, should we pay as much attention to that as I've been paying attention to? Listen, I understand, hey, like you said, think of it like perfume. You sniff it, you whiff it, you take it in, but don't drink that shit, okay? But it's tough not to drink that shit when you got all these morons out here saying you're a bad coach when you're arguably the front runner for fucking Coach of the Year. So I digress, but I'm just curious, Coach, like how difficult is it to see this bullshit day in, day out? And are you ever thinking like, wait a minute, are we 2-8 or are we 8-2? I seem to forgot.
Good question, Coach.
First of all, you look great. I love the outfit. You look great, Coach.
Thank you.
You know what? We constantly talk about controlling the things that you can control, and that's it. Like everything else is out of your control, and if you're worried about those things, then you're not worried about the things that are going to help you get better and help you win the next game. And so, if I'm constantly thinking about, if I'm constantly telling the guys to block it out, whether it's good praise or whether it's bad praise, and focus on the next thing. If I'm not blocking it out, how do I expect them to do so? And so, that's all we're working on. We're working on blocking out the noise when they tell you you're good. We're working on blocking out the noise when they tell you you're bad. Because, like I said, it's all about this next game. The next game we got the Rams, and so we're going to be thinking about that. We're going to be thinking about how we get better. And you know what? Sometimes stuff like that galvanizes you and it brings you closer together, right, as a football team. So anything we can do to bring ourselves closer together as a football team, doubt, praise, whatever, block it out, all right, but we know we're here together and trying to get better together.
Hell yeah, Coach. Great question, Coach Ty-rianni. Really good.
Thank you.
Really good, Coach Ty.
Look, I've never lost it, but looks like I got my swagger back.
Okay.
Also, I'd be remiss, Pat, if I didn't shout out moms in Natrona Heights. I just want to do that real quick, just real quick. So.
Well, you definitely just made her day. I know that.
Lovely
that's
lady.
Awesome. Okay, so a lot of the heat, I think, started end of last year, right? With the way last season kind of ended. I think that's when heat started. And we know the game, how this all works. There's a lot of people, there's only 32 head coaching gigs. There's probably a lot of people that would like to be the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles who might have, friends that are on TV and then point some things out maybe like that they would never do that maybe you do because you do things differently. But how things ended last year, I think is a big part of the conversation. So how does this year, or how do you learn from last year to change this year? And what did you take away from how the year ended last year, Coach?
Yeah, man, we spent so much time on just kind of going through everything and you know, from scheme to culture to everything. Everything was to be discussed, right? And the only way that, you know, we talk about getting better, and it's not as simple as that. It's just, hey, get better every day. No, you have to be willing to say, here's the things that I screwed up. Here's the things that we screwed up as a team, or I screwed up as the head coach, so you don't repeat that. And so, you know, again, we could have a long conversation about this. I'll keep a lot of that in house, of what you know, what are the things that we really felt like we needed to do to get the Tide going back to the direction we were headed. But we spent a lot of time. Players they work so damn hard to you know, continue to get better, to, you know, to look themselves in the mirror. I look myself in the mirror. The coaches look themselves in the mirror, and to do that, you got to be, first of all, you got to be starving to win. You got to be so hungry in this league, because there's so many guys. You guys know this. There's so many guys that are just starving to win and starving to be the best and starving, right? So you got to be hungry. And when you're talking about you know, professional coaches, professional athletes, you got to be humble to say, here's the shit that I screwed up, right? Here's what we got to get better at. So it really starts with that, being hungry and humble, and that's been our approach. You know, since the end of last year, we none of us had a taste in our mouth that we liked after that. You know, we were going around the season, we were 10-1, and we didn't finish obviously the way we wanted to, and so, but you know what? Adversity sometimes has the ability to make it better, and if you let it. And I think right now that's where we are as a football team. But like I said, and like Saquon said yesterday, they don't hand any damn trophies out for the middle of the year. So we still got to bring that attitude of hungry, humble, tough, nasty, physical, grimy, gritty. That's what the Philadelphia Eagles are.
Kibbles and bits everywhere, Coach Ty-rianni. Ain't that right?
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, Coach. I love it. I'm going to get it tatted on my body, actually, I think. I know you already have it, but I'm going to do it as well.
Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, last night, Calcaterra recovered a huge fumble for you guys. And I always say, like, good things happen when you run to the ball, whether that's on offense or defense. I think that play was a prime example. Is that something, like, will you show that in the team meeting and show, like, hey, yeah, we may have made a little mistake. They did a great job punching the ball out, but we were there on the spot to get a huge recovery that honestly could have changed the game.
Hell yeah, AJ. We will show the crap out of that thing, because again, when you don't just talk about your habits, you got to show your habits. You got to live your habits, right? And so it's not just mouth service. Like we will get in that film room and we'll show, you know what, our detail. Dallas's detail right there is not good enough, right? He's swinging the ball over top. He's exposing the ball. So that part will be on there. We talk all the time, and we'll show hustle plays all the time of, hey, you know, whether it's a defensive lineman coming out of, you know, a screen happens, the defensive lineman coming out of the stack and smacking a receiver that caught a screen pass, or, you know, the relentless effort of a guy getting to the football. And we talk a lot about when the ball carrier, you know, has the ball, that after a catch, are you flipping and finding? That's what we talk about that a lot. Are you flipping and finding and trying to get a block on the guy? And that's what Grant was trying to do. He loves Dallas. Dallas loves him. And Grant was just trying to get a block for Dallas, and what happened, right? He was right there when the ball came out. And so we'll show that. There's an awesome clip from yesterday of on Saquon's run on third down of Devontae Smith and John Dotson running out of there, running off instead of blocking right there. We talk about that. That's relentless effort. That makes a big difference. And then just look at that one that you just showed. I'm watching you guys show the one to Dallas, and then we're talking about with Grant. Look how A.J. Brown clears this thing out. Like, A.J. Brown's the clear-out route there. Like, he's the clear-out route there. He's not getting the football there. He's clearing that out for his teammate. And so we'll show that, because we know, Grant has been stepped into the spotlight while Dallas was out, and he did an unbelievable job. But now he's back to being our number 2 tight end. And so everyone's role is not the same, but everyone's role is vitally important. And, as mad as I am at Dallas, watching this over and over, as mad as I'm getting at Dallas right now for the way he played the football, I'm so pumped that it's the greatest team sport there is. It takes freaking everybody, and I love that.